Fire your data analyst. No, seriously, I was live streaming today from the office like I usually do, and I was sitting next to this guy who built an AI that handles your data like a human would. I couldn't believe it at first, but then he showed it to me and kind of has
over 1 million registered users.
Anyway, I got the whole thing on camera, so check it out.
Raul, do you know how to make this Excel function work?
No.
Like,
You don't need to do any of this. You can use AI for this actually.
really?
Go to Julius and it will help you analyze this within seconds and help you get charts, plots, anything you need.
Okay, Julius AI.
Yeah.
Okay, do I just drop my file to and
Yeah, just drop your data set and start asking it questions.
want to know how many users completed onboarding? How does it know what sheet to get the data from?
When you connect your data, it will take a high-level look at what the data structure is, and then it can always just write some code and do some exploratory analysis for you. Like how you would ask a human analyst to do that. And they will go and write some code and just see what's in the data, and then start doing the analysis to get you the answer.
Okay. Why would I use Julius over doing that same thing in Keep?
It's more accurate, it's focused on data analysis. It uses multiple models.
Okay.
It gives you much more accurate code and answers.
Yeah,
And
ChatGPT does hallucinate sometimes.
it does hallucinate all the time.
Last time I tried to do this, it didn't even get the number of users right. Okay, this is cool. 780 people finished their onboarding.
Yeah.
And what else can it do here? I really want to find out all the job roles that signed up this month and what kind of tools they added to their stack.
Great. So let's ask Julius, tell me what are the top 10 job roles that signed up for TechBible this month? And then you can just tell it, make it a visualization. So it will make a chart for you. So you can visually understand what's in your data.
How private is my data now that I given you all my users?
Great question. None of the data that you connect to Julius is used for training any kind of models.
Mhm.
Also, the data is containerized by user. So each user, like you, gets their own sandbox in the cloud, and that's where your data lives. And once you delete it here, it's deleted from that server entirely. Go here and reset your container, which will delete every file you've uploaded so far. You can also go here.
How are you doing that?
Oh,
What is it using?
the person that sits there, Joe, they work on lab, they work on infrastructure. And so we manage our own infrastructure for execution. We serve over 1 million code sandboxes a month right now. And every 24 hours, Julius writes and executes over 2 million lines of code.
What was the purpose of you doing this instead of just having another service?
We are able to deliver a better product experience to our users. It's like when Apple switched from Intel to their own chips, the Macs are just slowly way more powerful. So we're like building our own infrastructure. We're vertically integrated. Everything from the product experience to the infrastructure is Julius, except for AI models. And it helps deliver like much faster code execution, smooth spin-up time, bigger files. You can handle gigabytes of data. And enterprises, they love that security aspect of it. Julius has workflows where you can actually just create a step-by-step workflow for your analysis and then just share that with your team. So if you have other people on your team that aren't programmers or aren't experts, they can just simply run that workflow and get the same insights without being confused by all the coding.
That's awesome. I want to say I don't need to hire a data analyst, but this is going to be like those YC demos that just got deleted because it keeps saying you need to hire people.
No, this is going to make your data analyst's life much, much easier.
Definitely. Okay, that's cool. How can I build a workflow? So is it from what industry specifically do you see the most value delivered?
Yeah, so we see 4 different personas. They're in business and education. So in business world, it's startups, marketers, finance people, data scientists that have a lot of data on their hands and they need to analyze that to make better decisions. And then on the education side, we have academics that are teaching analysis with Julius to their classroom. And for example, Harvard Business School, they're teaching the entire class on the analysis with Julius.
That's awesome.
In this case, let's take a look at the data real quick. And you have the category sheet, right? What are the column names?
Category.
Oh, category. So we want to know what is the most popular category.
Yeah. Do it again.
So we just got to turn all the categories into lowercase.
Alright, while it's doing its code thing, do you want to scroll on TikTok?
Yeah, probably.
No, but seriously,
Need some brain rot. Yeah.
What's your story? How did you come up with building this?
Yeah, I was an engineer at Uber,
Okay.
and I worked on the pricing team. And pricing at Uber is a lot of experimentation, data science.
It's really good, especially when you try to book once, cancel, and then book again. they
And,
make sure to increase that.
Exactly. They make sure to charge you a lot.
Mm.
And when I left Uber, that's around the time when GPT-3 was becoming really good, and this was pre-Chat GPT.
Okay.
So one of the first things we were working on was like, how can we make analysis with AI accessible to everyone? Like, imagine the data scientists at Uber who are doing pricing. If we could get that power into the hands of all creators, or marketers, or finance people, or product people, that's going to be amazing for everyone. So we started building that. It took us almost a year after that to arrive at Julius. We launched many different things, intermediate things that didn't work out. We took all those learnings and applied that to Julius. You're connecting your MongoDB API, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So APIs already exist in the threads. We're going to work on getting those into workflows.
So, Raul, how many credits do I get per month to do this, and how many lines should my data set have?
So Julius can handle data sets up to as big as 1 gigabyte, and that's like millions of rows of data.
Okay.
And every user gets 15 free queries a month. For a lot of people, that's enough. If you're running not more than 15
Small
queries
business.
a month. Yeah.
Nice. And if I want to upgrade, how much is it, and how many team members can I have?
Yeah. So there's a $20 per month plan, $40 per month plan, and a $50 per month plan. You can add as many teammates as you want in the $50 per month plan.
What's your prompt for data? Because I feel like I'm talking to it like I'm talking to an assistant.
No, I think simple questions are fine. Tell it what you're thinking. Sometimes the AI will make an assumption based on what you tell it, but you can always clarify that assumption in your prompt and just say, okay, this is what this data is for. I want you to do this. If you look at my own prompt, where I tell it to restructure the data, I just tell it in one small paragraph how I want the data to be structured in just English. And what's funny is that this would take 4 different formulas in Excel to do that. And because I can explain that in English in simple prompts, I can just have the AI do that.
Yeah, no one has time to learn formulas.
Yeah.
Cool. Why is there the Python code here or in R?
Yeah.
Can I just copy the code afterwards and run it tomorrow?
You can. The good thing about Julius is you can run this exact same code in a Jupyter notebook or Colab notebook and get the same output.
Okay.
The analysis is completely reproducible. The kernels, it's mainly for like more advanced users that want the AI to use R instead of Python, or use Python, or you can also go here and get more powerful containers. So let's say you have a really big data set.
Wow. Okay.
So you can get a 32 gigabyte data set container, and you can see how much RAM is being used, CPU utilization. I'm also going to show you quickly this new thing we launched, which is chart themes.
This is awesome.
So if you want your charts to be specific to your brand,
I was thinking about that because I don't want to have to ask it to make it with a dark background and orange colors.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
And then you can just tell it, just make it dark background orange colors. You can specify bar charts. I want you to use this specific text color. And a lot of business users want to do that because they want their prompts to charts to look a certain way.
Yeah. What would be awesome is to integrate it later with Gamma so I can generate presentations.
Yeah, you use Gamma
at the same time. Yeah, or just Google Slides in general.
Yeah.
I want to just make as many workflows as possible between the tools that I adopt. And one of the things that I try to recommend a lot is with your current stack, see what integrates really well with what you already use so that you can reduce the amount of time.
Yeah.
The more connected these tools are, the more free time you can have.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of cool use cases with this. You should play with it, let me know how it goes, and then we'll put all those workflows for people to check out.
For free, publicly?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, this is awesome. All right, cool.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Raul.
Yeah, I gotta get back to a call, but appreciate it.
Good sitting next to you today.
Totally.
Bye.